Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. We've got some major updates, and this one is shaking the entire women's basketball world right now. The WNBA just rolled out a brand new offer to its players, a max salary of $1.1 million, and it increases every single year of the deal. On top of that, the league minimum jumps all the way up to $220,000. That is massive progress. It's real money, it's real movement, and it shows the league is finally trending in the right direction. But here's the thing, we still have one huge problem. And honestly, this is the exact obstacle that's stopping the players and the league from finalizing this deal. You can't miss it. This is the sticking point. Because as impressive as this offer is, and let's be real, it is impressive, the landscape of women's basketball has changed dramatically in the last few weeks. The WNBA came in strong. This new proposal is a significant upgrade from what was already considered a breakthrough offer. Remember, they were talking nearly 4 times what players are currently getting. Reports had the Supermax hovering around $1 million per season. Some said it was $850K. Either way, the league was clearly stepping up. But now we're in a different world because $1 million sounded incredible 6 weeks ago, before Project B hit the scene and flipped the entire market upside down, before we saw actual WNBA players signing with Project B for a minimum of $2 million. And that's just the floor. That's not the real numbers. And trust me on this, Nneka Ogwumike, Alyssa Thomas, Jonquel Jones, and Jewell Loyd didn't sign for $2 million. They signed for more, way more. When those salaries become public, it's going to send shockwaves through the entire industry because players around the league already know the numbers. They've seen the offers. They've had those conversations. So now the WNBA is fighting a battle on 2 fronts, trying to upgrade its pay structure while also trying to keep pace with a new competitor offering double the money out of the gate. This new WNBA offer is strong. But the question, is it strong enough in the era of Project B? The players already know the answer, and that's exactly why this deal hasn't been signed yet.
Now, here's said new WNBA offer to players includes max salary over $1 million. The WNBA's latest collective bargaining agreement proposal to players includes a max salary exceeding $1 million, a source with direct knowledge of negotiations confirmed to Front Office Sports. The Associated Press was first to report the league's latest proposal. The proposal, presented this week, includes a salary range starting at more than $220,000, so that's going to be their league minimum now. Their league minimum going up to $1.1 million for the max. Look, that's a big deal. That's not pocket change. That's an extra $100,000 added right on top. And depending on which report you believed before, this raise is even bigger. If you were buying into the $850,000 Supermax number, then the league just slapped another $250,000 on top of that. If you believe the earlier $1 million proposal, it's still a clean extra $100,000. Either way, the WNBA is clearly trying to level up the offer. It's real money, real growth, and a major signal that they're finally trying to compete with the new market. When you're talking about nearly $500,000 as the average, not the max, that's a whole new level for the WNBA. This is real progress, and players know it.
It said these salaries are in the first year and would grow over the course of the CBA. The new proposal comes after negotiations between the league and the WNBPA reached a contentious point, with both sides exchanging public barbs last month before agreeing to a 30-day extension. The CBA was set to expire October 31st, but the extension pushed that date to November 30th. Okay, here we go. While increased salaries and an improved revenue-sharing model have been the 2 main sticking points in negotiations, the players presented a list of priorities when they opted out of the CBA last year. Among those were improved benefits, the formalization of charter travel, establishing baseline standards of operation for every franchise, a softer salary cap, and roster expansion. Let's be real for a second.
Caitlin Clark is the reason these private jets are even on the table, and we all know it. And now that the players have finally gotten them, they're never going away. Can we all agree on that? Private travel is here to stay. But it's not just that. The players also want owners to be required to invest in better facilities, better resources, better everything. And that's another major piece being negotiated right now. It's not just about salaries anymore. It's about raising the entire standard of the league from top to bottom. It said, "Meetings are ongoing," a source told Front Office Sports. The league can't set dates and rules for an expansion draft for its two newest expansion teams, the Toronto Tempo and Portland Fire, until a CBA is ratified. The last round of labor negotiations in 2019 was extended by 60 days before a new CBA was formalized in the new year, just before free agency was set to begin. Now hold up. Okay, let's go right here, ESPN. Then you can understand easily. These things we already discussed. Now I'm showing real meaning of these priorities. This is the real issue right here. This is the sticking point. Prioritization. This is exactly what's holding up the entire WNBA, WNBPA agreement. It's not the salary numbers. It's not the bonuses. It's not the travel upgrades. The money's already gone up massively, more than anyone expected, and it's built to rise year after year in these new deals. So no, the money isn't the problem anymore. The problem is prioritization. The players want the freedom to go play in Project B while still collecting all this new WNBA money and enjoying the platform, visibility, and exposure the W brings. And let's be honest, that exposure matters. How many people in the United States are tuning into EuroLeague games? You can't name anybody dominating EuroLeague right now because nobody here is watching it. That's just the truth. Players want the best of both worlds. Keep the WNBA spotlight, keep the US fan base, keep the massive marketing push, while also going overseas or to Project B and doubling their income. And the WNBA is saying absolutely not. If they're going to pay this kind of money and invest this heavily, they want exclusivity. That's the barrier. That's exactly why the agreement still isn't signed.
It states prioritization, a set of rules that requires WNBA players competing in other leagues to show up in time for WNBA training camp or else be suspended for the season. Became a controversial topic after it was introduced in the last CBA. But it's unlikely owners would want to loosen those rules, especially amid expected WNBA salary increases. A source told ESPN that the topic has not largely figured into negotiations so far and that it's not considered a major point of contention. So here's the reality. You can't show up to WNBA training camp a week late because you're overseas chasing a EuroLeague championship. That era is over. The league wants players in camp on time, locked in, and fully committed. The WNBA doesn't want anyone juggling two leagues anymore, and they definitely don't want players missing games or team activities because they're still overseas. And that right there, that is the holdup. There's been major back and forth, real tension, real arguments between the players, the owners, and Kathy Engelbert about this exact issue. People keep pretending it's about money, but that's cap, straight up. The owners are done with that narrative. They're looking the players in the eye saying, "You said you wanted more money. We're paying you millions now." Not just one player, multiple players on the same roster can get the 1.1 million max. And it increases every year. You said it was about the money. Well, here's the money. But the owners are making one thing clear. You're not taking this money and then running off overseas to play somewhere else. Not happening. They're not bending on that, period. And here's the twist. For years, players claimed they only went overseas to supplement income, that they didn't want to play year-round, that it was exhausting. But suddenly, now that Project B is offering millions, everyone wants to play year-round again. We heard Nneka Ogwumike herself say she misses it. So it was never about rest. It was never about burnout. It was always about chasing every bag in every league. And the WNBA is simply not having it.
Here said, the latest proposal follows news that startup league Project B is offering star players multi-million-dollar salaries.
The new league, which will run from November to April, will not be in direct competition with the WNBA, but multiple sources suggested that players could opt to skip the WNBA season if negotiations didn't go well. Jewell Loyd, Jonquel Jones, Alyssa Thomas, and Nneka Ogwumike have all signed on to be part of Project B's inaugural season. That's interesting. That's really interesting because this is exactly what the players asked for, a massive salary jump, and now they've finally gotten it. And on top of that, these numbers are set to increase as the seasons progress. They didn't specify exactly how they'll increase, but the structure is there. It's built to grow. Personally, I've said from the beginning, just agree on a number now, lock it in, and then revisit the table in 3 years. That way, both sides can evaluate real league growth instead of guessing. And look, the owners are thinking about everything. You know, some of them are sitting there asking, what happens if Caitlin Clark gets hurt again? What happens to ratings then? Because let's be real, the numbers stayed strong when she missed time, but only because fans thought she was coming back. The moment the news dropped that she wasn't returning, interest dipped. The league knows it, the Fever knows it, everyone knows the financial weight Caitlin brings to the table. But either way, we're talking serious money now. A league average of $460,000? Come on. You can't look me in the eye and say you can't live comfortably off that. After taxes, that's around 20 grand a month. You better learn to budget or live within your means because that's real income. That's life-changing. And one more thing. For the folks out there yelling, A'ja Wilson deserves $10 million? Listen, if the WNBA tried paying that kind of money right now, the league would fold overnight. It's not realistic at this stage. That's not hate, that's math. But anyway, I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.